Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of DialogBOX. I am Laughingboy, and tonight I am here with two very, very awesome people. We have the media director of ZeldaUniverse, Alex Rosenberg. Say hello, Alex.
Hello. Hi. How's it going? Rosenberg here. Hey. I went to the camera. There's no camera. There's audio. What am I doing?
I only asked you to say hello. I thought that implied just one time.
You know what?
No, it was 4 times.
You also said
Wow,
my
really?
name
4
wrong.
hellos.
So, I mean...
Is it Rose, as in Rosenberg?
Rosenberg.
I've had a knack of saying Rosenberg lately.
It's okay.
Like you're
a few other
baseball
people
player.
have. It's fine.
Alex Rosenberg.
The Rosenbergers taste like Rosenbergers.
There's no Rosenberger.
And in case you couldn't hear his very lustrous, what's the word I'm looking for?
Lustrous works.
Lustrous.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah. Anyway, who are you?
My name is JoshJepson. You may or may not have known that already.
I
It used
didn't.
to be my catchphrase, but I don't say that anymore because somebody said it sounded douchey, and I was like, oh, maybe you're right. Maybe I should stop saying that after saying that for 3 years. Anyway, hi.
I just like the idea. It's like a picture of you sitting at a bar with like a drink in your hand, and it's just like, what if they didn't know that already?
Like the sudden realization. It's like that meme with sudden clarity Clarence.
The X-Files theme starts playing.
Anyway, so we are here tonight to talk about the Nintendo Direct that at this point was almost a week ago, and by the time this comes out, will have probably been several months ago.
Facts.
So we saw a lot of stuff. We saw a lot of exciting games coming out for the Switch that have not been released on Nintendo platforms before. We're seeing the 3DS is suddenly still alive and kicking. I don't say suddenly because it's still alive.
For now.
It's
For
on
now.
one of those
We'll see.
walkers. It has like the little tennis balls on the other side so it doesn't slip on the wood.
Hey, you know, they keep releasing models of it. Last time I was on DialogBOX, I bitched about the pumpkin spice 3DS because that was a decision.
The pumpkin spice. Oh, the orangey whatever one. Yeah.
I
Yes.
thought it was a creamsicle.
I kind of liked it though. To be honest, I liked it.
It looks great, and
I mean,
they
it
like
was
using it
a
in
weird
promotional
color.
material.
I know. I'm like staring at something, a trailer from the Direct right now, and I think they're using that specific model, and I'm just kind of like, why?
Well, it does look better than the Tron blue, like that blue and black kind of.
Really? Does it? I don't know. I like the blue. I like all of them, to be honest.
I do enjoy
They're
a lot
all
of the
my
designs.
children.
This was the one design I was just kind of like, no. Personally.
Yeah, I get you. I get you. Well, I think we're just getting fatigued, really, by the 3DS at this point.
Portable gaming at the palm of my hand.
Oh my god.
I'm so over it.
I still love the 3DS though. I'm very much a fan of it.
I'm excited for the games that are actually on it coming out, just because now I have more use to actually play them, which makes me excited.
Yeah, I got you.
I mean, my backlog isn't getting any smaller. But anyway,
That's
we
true,
also talked
same.
about
Nope,
we also
same.
saw Mario Tennis Aces as well as Splatoon 2 and a little game called Sup Ma Bro.
Something a bro.
Something
as the
Bro.
memes have called it.
What a good game. Classic.
That's a great game. Yeah, Super Tekken Brothers. It's a good game. It's a good
Yeah,
game.
with
Yeah,
Dante
it's a
from Devil May
great
Cry,
game.
right?
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And all of the other Nintendo friends. So let's get started, shall we?
Sure.
Yeah.
First on the docket is going to be the 3DS. They showed a couple of highlights for the 3DS, and I think it's good to talk about it because, again, it's a very old man, and it's starting to yell at all the kids on its lawn, and it's constantly reinventing itself in order to make itself more appealing to the masses.
You know what?
So,
Good for them. Good for them.
Honestly, though, I think it's great that the 3DS is sticking around because it shows that Nintendo, Nintendo hasn't forgotten about the huge install base that the 3DS has. You know. And
yeah.
then, sure, there are people that should all those people should buy a Switch. There's no doubt in my mind that they should buy a Switch. But the 3DS has just a freaking huge install base, so it makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm actually really happy about it too, just because of the fact that I don't really use my 3DS as often, and like 3DS is a perfect thing on the train when you have really nothing else to do and you don't have your Switch on you, and so like I'm gonna have use for it.
It's true.
The 3DS is perfect if you don't have a Switch.
Well, no. The 3DS is the difference between the 3DS and the Switch really is that the 3DS fits in your pocket. The Switch will never fit in your pocket.
No, that's correct.
Well,
Although,
unless you have gigantic
don't at me
pockets.
if the mini Switch comes out.
Look, I still bought my Old Navy big pocket jeans, and by God, they will fit in them.
Wow.
Okay. Well, fair enough.
Touche.
If you have giant pockets, sure.
Gigantic pockets. But yeah, they announced WarioWare Golden, Luigi's Mansion remake, which I'm actually really excited about.
Oh, I'm so
to be
excited about
honest.
that.
Dude, me
Bowser's
too.
Inside Story, Detective Pikachu, Dylan is getting a sequel.
What
I
is
just
that
like
game?
calling it Dylan.
What is that game?
it's-
I have no idea.
It's an eShop exclusive.
Oh, is it?
I think.
Because I looked at it and I'm
Dylan's
like,
Rolling
what
Western.
is this?
Oh, now I understand.
So it's the sequel to Dylan's Rolling Western, and I only wrote Dylan in my notes, so that's the name you're getting. And
You know what?
Captain
That's all I
Toad is
care about
also
too,
coming
so
out.
it's fine. Like, who
So,
is
I think-
this?
Yeah. No, he'll be in Smash, I guarantee it. So
I'll watch.
do you think Nintendo basically said that they were going to support the 3DS into 2018? I didn't personally think that they meant that they were going to support it through 2018.
Yeah, well, because freaking Mario and Luigi Bowser's Inside Story is coming out in 2019.
Yeah. So
What?
we got some time, right?
Casually.
But what do we think? Do you think it's should we sunset the 3DS?
I don't think so yet.
Honestly, something like the 3DS could live on really until it absolutely dies. Like until it's like there's really no reason for it to exist. But at this point, Nintendo has the entire market on handheld gaming. So
Yeah.
except for like mobile phones, right? So,
Even then, they're still getting there.
They're getting there. They're getting
yeah,
there.
right. And even then, they're in that market too. So it's kind of like, well, no, I don't think it should die. I think it should live on so long as people are still playing the games and buying them, you know? Why not?
And it's just begging you to kill it.
Yeah. Kill me, I've been here since 2011. I've had 2 consoles come out in my time.
Well, and that's
true.
actually that you bring up a good point, Alex. Like this was literally a system that when it came out looked like it was gonna bomb,
Oh, yeah, because
and it's
no
going
games.
into 2019 with new titles, and it's probably one of the most successful at least in recent memory. I don't know if it's topped the DS, but at least it's definitely been one of the most successful handheld consoles Nintendo's put out.
Yeah. No doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the thing is it's been great, and the stuff that they've been releasing over the years has been great. I think that their initial like launch with them focusing so heavily on 3D was kind of a mistake, and I think they realized that. And then over time, it kind of became much and much less about the 3D and more about the games.
Yeah, I agree.
Especially since a lot of games don't even utilize the 3D at all.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
Hey Pikmin doesn't even use it. And I'm like, really? You needed
Yeah.
something to jazz that game up.
Well, there's a lot of reasons for that too. I think because as you get on in time, you want the games to start looking a little bit better than the launch games, right? So one of the ways that they do that is by using less power for the system by not making it 3D.
Yeah.
So you're not displaying the 2 screens at the same time. Plus, the frame rate ends up being better as a result.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think in some cases, maybe not in Xenoblade's case, I thought the 3D actually made Xenoblade Chronicles look better.
Yeah.
But
Never played it.
it does make the games more accessible to a masser audience. Like, you don't have to feel left out if your dad bought you a 2DS because all your friends have 3DSs if none of you can have 3D.
I think what they're going to start doing is you've seen a lot of this actually with the Nintendo Direct is like stuff like Luigi's Mansion and Bowser's Inside Story. These are like basically ports or remakes of these older games, and it's kind of like I feel like it's almost like a send-off for the 3DS. I feel like we won't see that anything coming out besides Bowser's Inside Story in 2019. I think 2018 will be the last hurrah for the 3DS.
Well,
So no partners in time.
No partners. Oh, they skipped over it. They skipped over partners in time.
Well, let's think about this also for a second. We have no idea what Pokemon's going to do. So for all we know, Pokemon was the one thing keeping that system honestly alive all of last year, other than Fire Emblem, I think. Did any other game happen last year for 3DS? I don't remember.
Not anything huge.
No.
Metroid.
Metroid, I think, was like
Right.
the biggest thing for 3DS in 2017.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. But no,
what a game.
I'm really excited for Luigi's Mansion just because of the fact that it's now we've hit that point where there's a generation of gamers who haven't played the original, and now that it's got new features and a map, great. I'm also looking forward to WarioWare because I love that series. I love playing that on the go. I'm gonna spend so much of my time on the train just playing WarioWare, and I'm into it. I'm into it a lot.
Well, and I think WarioWare and, I mean, another game that came out last year was Mario Party: The Top 100. I think are two games that are supposed to like kind of get people interested in kind of these really long, staying franchises, to kind of maybe boost interest in potential future installments of the series.
Yeah, no doubt for sure. They
I
give that
heard
a lot, I
mixed
think.
things about Top 100 though, which sucks.
I heard Top
mean-
100 was here's just a bunch of random mini games from.
That's
Like, they're
pretty
not
much,
You said this was what
necessarily-
you wanted.
Not necessarily the top 100.
but 100 games. Here you go.
100, just 100 random games.
Not even the best ones, just there.
Just whatever ones we pulled them out of a hat.
Mario Party: The 100 minigames.
Probably the more accurate title of what I've been hearing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm also super excited for Luigi's Mansion, and I kind of want to like this. We'll go into this subject a little further later, as we talk about remakes on Nintendo systems. But I mean, first things first, like it's kind of like that realization that you had as a kid when you're just like, I wish I could play like this N64 game or this GameCube game like in my pocket. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we kind of like have hit that point now with Luigi's Mansion, and especially like back then with Star Fox 64. Like as a, I think, 9-year-old, 8-year-old, I literally was thinking to myself like, I wish I could play this game.
Honestly, I'm
handheld.
actually surprised it took them this long to bring out Luigi's Mansion Original. When Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon was first announced, I thought like, oh man, now that they're making a sequel, the next thing they're gonna do is release a remake of Luigi's Mansion, either on the Wii U at the time or the 3DS or on whatever next console. Like I thought I knew that this was going to happen at some point.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that they did actually go through with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I actually do have a little quick question about this. So I think some voices out there were a little concerned because this was a remake coming out for the 3DS rather than on the Nintendo Switch. Do you guys feel that this should have been on the Switch versus
No.
the 3DS?
No.
All right, let's move on.
Here's the thing. So when I saw the announcement for that, I was like, oh, this makes sense because now you can get both games on the same system.
Yeah.
That makes perfect sense to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they already have the engine for Dark Moon. So
yeah,
exactly.
it's basically tweaking.
Yeah. Tweaking it, and the thing is that makes the development cost for it cheaper. That makes it easier to develop for them. And really, it shouldn't be a difficult thing to put. If they were going to put it on the Switch, it would have to be it would have to be a much bigger deal, I think. And it's a port. It's a remake of this old game. I think really what they're going for is releasing this to remind people that Luigi's Mansion is a thing, and that, and then release Luigi's Mansion 3 on the Switch.
Yeah. I definitely see that potentially coming in the future. Hopefully.
I hope so. I love Luigi's Mansion.
So I think now I want to kind of get into what I have in my notes essentially as Dark Souls, Okami, Crash Bandicoot, Hyrule Warriors Deluxe, Captain Todd, South Park, Undertale, ...
Man, look at all those ports on the horizon.
Yes.
Ports.
Better go use that dock.
Take-Twos are great.
That
Yep.
Switch dock.
Yep.
Switch dock.
Yep. So clever.
So it was such a good joke the first time.
It really
and
was.
Yeah.
And you know what? You hear it again, and it's great.
And the funny thing is that no one actually will notice it when they watch it, but we've already recorded this, and Audition just sucks for me, so that's fun.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, it looks like Switch, the Switch port, the Switch is getting a lot of ports.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think that was worse than the first time we did it. But anyway.
You know what? Let's just yes, and let's
no,
just
we're
keep
good.
rolling.
We're good. We're good. I'll just replace the bad parts with the good parts that I did before.
Or not.
So the DS, let's think about it this way. Dark Souls came out back in 2011, and so that was about 7 years ago. Okami came out in 2006 originally on the PS2, but then came back out on as an HD version in 2012, and I think the Wii version was 2008.
The Wii version came somewhere in between.
Yeah.
I think it was like 2008 or 2009. Yeah.
2008 sounds like a right year.
I was still working at GameStop, I think.
I think that I think that the ports being re-released, these ports for especially like stuff like the Wii U ports, you know, all these games exist already, so it doesn't. They're easy to put on the Switch because it doesn't take any extra work to make these games, so it's kind of almost like an easy cash grab. But at the same time, I think it's fine, and I think that we're not necessarily getting any like port fatigue like people are saying, because they're also releasing new games too, so you're just getting this steady stream of video games.
Yeah,
right,
absolutely. I mean, I don't think there's a huge issue with any of them. Granted, I totally called Okami HD on Switch in September on the last Dialog Box, and then Dark Souls is existing with the amiibo, which, what? Okay, what? Like,
let's
talk
was
about that for a second.
$15?
Yeah, it is a $16 amiibo that you get at GameStop. It's exclusively to GameStop. It gives you nothing but a freaking animation of the sun, like saluting the sun, and yet I kind of want one.
I think you know exactly what they're doing. They're doing it because it's ridiculous.
And you know what? I'm here for it. I'm so here for it.
Yeah, dude.
Like, my main two thoughts is, like, it is the most useless amiibo ever, and also, of course, it's GameStop exclusive. Like,
yeah, of course.
You wouldn't see that at Best Buy.
Well, I mean, you go to a GameStop now and you just see like useless toys on one side of the store, and then you just see all the games on the other side.
Actually,
because
good
GameStop's
point.
just like, it's like, we bought ThinkGeek, what do we do? And then they just cram all that shit on one side of the room.
And it's not even the good shit from ThinkGeek, which is even sadder.
And well, yeah, and then like I just imagine you'll just randomly see the Dark Souls amiibo on one of those racks because somebody just made a mistake.
Honestly, though.
But yeah. Well, and here's the thing. I don't think it was necessarily a problem that the Switch is getting a lot of ports. I mean, to see Dark Souls Remastered is also coming out on the PS4 and Xbox One. To see Okami HD had already come out on those systems. Crash Bandicoot, South Park, Undertale, like these are pretty recent games as remasters already. So to see them coming out on the Switch makes sense. I think it was mostly just the idea that two things. And the first thing I want to get into is, again, these Wii U ports. So we have Hyrule Warriors Deluxe, which is technically coming out for a third time.
Yeah.
And then Captain Toad, which is, again, will have a Wii U, a 3DS, and a Switch version at some point in its life. So do you think that might be, like, do you think Nintendo's kind of sweeping that under the rug? I know, Josh, you kind of went into it, but Alex, I kind of want to see what your opinion was on that as well.
Well, I mean...
Assuming Audition is working.
It is working, thank God. Thanks, internet and technology. You just sucked today. No, I don't have an issue with it because, I mean, honestly, I missed the 3DS version of Hyrule Warriors. Apparently, I wasn't missing much anyway. I like the fact that at least now, you're getting pretty much everything in one shot. I'm okay with that. I'm willing to buy the game another time for that. Captain Toad, I'm also okay with. I am still a little confused of why we're getting it on 3DS 2 when it's the exact same game, but I'm not going to question it too much because, again, same sort of like buy market stuff.
Right, yeah.
Well, yeah.
There are definitely some people, especially younger kids, that don't have a Switch yet. Hopefully, all these people who have a 3DS will eventually get a Switch.
Go buy Switches, y'all.
It's good. It's good.
As soon as I can find one.
They're at Best Buy all the time.
Switch is a good system.
They're all over the place.
Yeah, it's nowhere near as bad as it used to be.
Yeah, I got lucky last year.
Well, and I think the other thing that I kind of want to go into is, I mean, we can talk about, like, so Captain Toad, I mean, it's a puzzle game. Of course, it's going to be on the 3DS because of 3DS's kind of legacy with the Game Boy Pocket has always kind of been synonymous with puzzle games. So I think that kind of explains why there's this weird dichotomy of, like, why are we releasing it on the 3DS and the Switch at the same time? Because it just makes sense to Nintendo to release it on two systems at once because they both kind of fit the same demo. It's just that even though the Switch has been selling the way it's selling, it still doesn't, I don't know if it has the same install base or the demographic that the 3DS does. So this can work, Captain Toad on the Switch can work for a specific demo, whereas Captain Toad on the 3DS can work on a completely different demo. So I think that that thought process is kind of what led them to be like, all right, let's do it. Let's do both.
And here's my other question I want to bring up. It's a puzzle game. Do you ever think that maybe they'll also announce at E3 maybe that it's coming to mobile too?
That's a good question.
Because, I mean, it's a puzzle game. Puzzle games work well on iOS and Android. Not entirely outside the realm of feasibility. I'm pretty sure there's stuff like this on the App Store already.
I'm actually surprised it isn't just coming to mobile instead of 3DS.
Well, and I think part of that might just be controlling the phone. I don't know how either gyro or trying to move the camera, because it is very camera focused, but I could see if Nintendo decided to take Captain Toad and instead of making it the way that it used to be, like, there's Monument Valley. Monument Valley is like the best, I think, comparison in terms of what a puzzle platformer can look like on iOS. And I definitely could see a Captain Toad look-alike in the future.
Yeah. I never played the game.
Whatever.
I never played the game.
Hey,
I got nothing.
Whatever.
I only ever played the first chapter of the game, but...
See, I'm not good at, like, keeping up with mobile games. I said I would play Dragon Quest, whatever game I said in September. Never played it.
Yeah, all right. Well... but I think the other issue that I particularly had was, and I think this can be answered pretty simply, but do you guys think it was necessarily a good move to keep talking about all these ports coming out, even if they are technically new announcements to Switch? There's still 4 to 5 games, brand new titles that Nintendo just recently talked about within the last few months.
Yep.
And we still don't know anything about them.
Well,
I think probably the most...
We know about Octopath.
Well, I think the most... Octopath is definitely coming, and they talked about it during the Direct.
Yep.
But I'm talking about, I mean, they announced a Pokemon Switch game last year. They announced Metroid Prime 4 last year.
Yep.
We got some extra information about the new Yoshi game a couple months ago. But what's going on with Fire Emblem on the Switch?
I think they're waiting for E3.
They brought that up briefly at one point, and then I think Alex is right. I think they'll show it at E3.
I think
they'll talk about it more.
I think they're holding on to the bigger stuff, like because I'm assuming this is going to be the last Direct until we're at E3, and at that point,
I think so.
Probably true.
And so at that point, it's going to be we're going to get a gauntlet of information about pretty much all of those games. So,
well, we're gonna for sure see Metroid Prime footage. There's no doubt in my mind.
Yep. We'll hear about Smash.
And maybe a developer name.
We'll hear about Smash. We'll hear about Fire Emblem, most likely.
Pokemon.
We'll hear about. We'll probably get a trailer for that.
Yep.
So, yeah, it's coming.
Yeah, and we'll talk about that towards the end there, like our E3 predictions. So.
Yep. I will make one note though.
Okay.
I still think, because Octopath Traveler seems like an interesting game. I played the demo. I did enjoy it. I am still thinking that title needs a workshop.
Look, I knew that's what they were going to call the game when the 3rd or 4th time they talked about Octopath Traveler, and they're still like, it's a working title. I'm like, no, you've used it way too many times.
Working title, like, yeah, sure. And
I think
it's such a bad title.
I think people predicted. I know, but I think people predicted they would probably try to find like a way to put Final Fantasy in its title.
It's not even a Final Fantasy game, though.
I mean, but you can say that, all right? You can just put Final Fantasy in the name, and it's suddenly a Final Fantasy game.
That's what they're gonna do when.
I swear.
That's what they do when Pokemon comes out. It'll be Final Fantasy Stars.
Yeah, there we go. And it's suddenly a Final Fantasy game.
Everything's a Final Fantasy except the games we actually want, Square. Final Fantasy 7 and Kingdom Hearts 3. Come on.
I can't wait for Final Fantasy Prime 4. It's gonna be great.
Yeah. Anyway, let's move on to Metroid Tennis Aces. I've apparently already had enough.
Final Fantasy Tennis Aces.
Mario Tennis Aces.
Oh boy, it's so linear, but it's so good. Is it just tennis in hallways?
I mean, tennis, literally, you go back and you go forth.
Mario Tennis has actually pretty much always been good. I've played a few of them, and it's been fun every time, and this one looks like it's going to be fun also.
Yeah,
well, I was about to say, like, how are we feeling about the game that Ultra Smash was supposed to be?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because everybody saw that game and was just like, yeah, no.
I mean, I bought it because I love Mario Tennis.
No, I love Mario Tennis too, but I didn't buy that one. I bought that one on 3DS.
But you were smart because that game is about 2 hours long.
Well, womp womp.
But it looks like this system is way more complex, and it does really seem to be built around this zone shot system. And it has like meters. It's almost like a fighting game.
Yeah, it's interesting.
I was going to say, do you guys think it was necessary to make the game more appealing? Do you think that this was kind of like a way to boost it ahead of the Ultra Smash system?
I think, well, I never played Ultra Smash, but
neither did I.
I will say that I think that having a more complex system for a game like this makes sense, because having it be like simple on the surface and then having it have the deeper, more complex features makes it more of a better experience for older players, especially.
Yeah.
You know, because if a kid picks it up or plays it, they should be able to play it. But if somebody who is older and wants to actually compete with their friends and, you know, have that experience, there's more to it underneath. And I think Nintendo's getting really, really, really good at doing that.
Yeah, I agree. I think there's a lot of really good stuff that I saw there that was just more refined, and I'm kind of interested in just seeing where it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, if you want, you pull off one of your Joy-Cons and swing your arms around if you want.
Because you can't get away from that in a Nintendo game nowadays. They will find some freaking way to shoehorn motion control in.
If you're a kid and you got like way too much energy, you know, like whatever, pull out the Joy-Con and swing your arm around. You know, maybe you're into tennis or something as a kid.
You can do the Mario with all your friends.
You can
swing your arms from side to side.
Yeah, come on, it's time to go. Do the Mario. You gotta take a step, then go back again, just like that, and then come on, it speaks for itself.
It's good.
Actually, it's probably actually, now that I think about it, when you're like, my favorite memories of hanging with friends was aggressively playing Wii Sports. So in the same
I thought you were gonna say. I thought you were gonna say aggressively playing tennis.
I aggressively watched the Super Mario Brothers show.
Yeah, Wii Sports Tennis, duh.
Technically, yeah. Well, bowling is where it's at.
Oh, well, that's true. Bowling and tennis were the two things on Wii Sports that were great. But like, those are great memories, and so I could kind of see now that I'm thinking about it, Mario Tennis doing the same thing, and I'm okay with that. Yeah. I'm here for it.
I'm down.
Yeah.
I mean, I love Mario Tennis. The 3DS one I was told was a letdown, so I skipped out on it, but I just find that game so fun and appealing. So it just kind of like, while Ultra Smash was a letdown in my opinion because I paid full price for it.
Ripperoonie.
I am definitely looking forward to Tennis Aces, and I hope that there is a big online community. Also, give me your friend codes.
I just want to play as Chain Chomp with a racket.
Hey, listen, I'm maining as Waluigi now and forever.
That would be the unfortunate thing if all online is just Chain Chomps and Waluigi, but I can already see that happening.
I mean, let's be honest. We all see the fan base behind Waluigi. I'm here for it, but like, let's be honest. We see the internet.
But Chain Chomp with racket and Smash.
True. True.
Let's go. Come on. Where are you at, Nintendo? Fight me.
Yeah. Where's your
1v1.
character roster? Why can't
We'll
I
settle
vote
it
for
in
Chain
Smash.
Chomp with Racket?
No items. Fox only. Final destination.
Fox only final destination. Wait, hang on.
Fight me 1v1, Chain Chomp, Fox only, Final Destination.
Don't at me. Don't at me on Twitter. Just Final Destination the shit.
Don't at me on Final Destination.
That's a meme.
All right, I think we should move on to Splatoon 2.
Ooh.
I want to say that trailer was so confusing because I was just like, what is this? This is so interesting. It's like, and then I saw that it was a DLC. I'm like, oh. I'm surprised they've gotten away this long with doing free DLC until this point. It's kind of interesting.
Honestly, getting a proper real expansion to Splatoon is actually really cool to me.
Yeah. Granted, I'm behind. I never
really
finished single player for Splatoon 2, so I have no idea what's happening, but I'm into it.
I think I think it's kind of, sort of not really a separate thing, but it's kind of like its own story.
Which I'm into.
Splatoon 1's story mode was kind of an afterthought. It really is a let's teach the player how to play, and then you get bonus items specifically for multiplayer. But
Does 2 jump on that a little bit more? Because I only played like a little bit of 2 and then kind of dropped it.
2 is from what I've been told a more like impactful story, and
I've
things
played
happen.
about half of it, and it's been much more enjoyable than the first one.
That's good.
I've played about
and
zero
not
of it.
really necessarily from a story perspective, but from a design perspective. All the level design is much more interesting, and like
I do agree with that one. The little I
progression
played.
is better. Yeah, I like it a lot.
Okay. I haven't even slightly touched it, so
Hey,
I
got a
played the
little on you
multiplayer for a while, and I just kind of left the single player alone because it was such a, like I said, like an afterthought in the first game that I didn't really think to play it because there's so much you can do in multiplayer.
Right.
Yeah.
Especially now with Salmon Run.
Especially with Salmon Run, specifically with Salmon Run.
So yeah, Salmon Run. What I find myself doing is I'll play, like ranked or whatever for a while. When I get kind of like I start losing a bunch of matches, I kind of get tired of that. I'm like, all right, well, let's go play Salmon Run for a while.
Yeah,
and it's a good break. And then I kind of do this thing where I go back and forth, and I just play it until 6 a.m., which I did 2 nights ago.
Nice.
I mean, there's enough to do
it's all right.
in the game online that you really don't even like need to touch the single player. Like the single player does feel like an afterthought at this point, and it seems like they spent way more time on the single player this time around than they did on the, like. But yeah, like
but the expansion is also, it's not just that there will be an expansion that comes out that you pay for. It's also going to be, there's multiplayer maps and like more equipment and all this other stuff that comes out for free for everybody else too.
Which has always been the case, and which is something that I've always admired, considering living in a Sony world and you have to pay like an exorbitant amount of money for costumes and hats. And I am actually staring daggers at you, Naughty Dog, for that specific reason. But like shoehorning in a multiplayer in a single player campaign just to sell DLC seemed like the in thing to do back in 2014, but to kind of see how Nintendo takes this concept and goes, just have it, like, just take it, don't pay us, like, just don't tell anybody.
Nintendo has always been really, like, you can tell that they've been really experimenting with DLC stuff the last couple of years.
Yeah.
Trying to figure out what works for them, because they've tried a lot of, especially with the mobile stuff, like, they've tried a lot of different ways of doing, like, microtransactions, and they've tried DLC stuff, and they've tried DLC packs, and they've tried the season passes, and now they're doing an expansion for a game. And so they're trying out all these different things. You can see that they're just sort of, they're not overdoing it like a lot of these other companies do.
Yeah, and oh, no, keep going.
No, well, they're each game's experience kind of has its own thing, and they won't just shoehorn something in for the sake of money. They'll only do it if it really kind of makes sense for the, the development of the game.
Yeah.
And they truly make it accessible because any free DLC just kind of comes in the game, and it almost makes it made Splatoon 1 look like one of those platform games where half the game just wasn't out when at launch, and then the full game basically existed within several years after that.
Right.
Splatoon 2 is basically saying, like, we're just going to patch the game and update it, and here's more stuff.
Yep.
But if you want to pay for something, we do it in packs. Like, Super Smash Brothers made it very easy.
Yep.
If you wanted to buy everything in packs, to just do that. And that seems to be going a little bit more... I think it's even simplified on the Switch, because it's like, here's your season pass, and it comes with everything. And
I think what's helped...
We promise, fingers crossed, that nothing else will be added afterwards.
I think what's helped is that Nintendo has had so much time looking at the industry, seeing what's worked and what's not. Like, especially, like, after the most recent issues with, like, Battlefront 2, with how the loot box is handled. And then think Nintendo probably took a look at that and was just like, all right, so we know what not to do. Actually, heck, EA fucking did it again with The Sims 4 recently, because there's now a new stuff pack for cats and dogs that you require the cats and dogs expansion to fucking play, which you need to buy even when you do that whole thing for Sims 4. It's fucking stupid. And I think that Nintendo, is looking at that and just is like, all right, so we're not doing that. And I think
we're
that's
not
really
doing
smart.
that. Yeah, exactly.
Like, granted, there's no we have some horse armor, so they haven't learned entirely from, like, mistakes of, like, other people, Bethesda. But still, it's better than most, which I think is still something of note.
Well, and I think Nintendo does look at what the industry is doing, and then they kind of think to themselves, like, how do we do this in a way that kind of makes it our own? And I think that's why they've also been very late to the game on a lot of concepts, especially online play.
Yep.
Right, yeah, exactly. Well, because they want to do it right is the thing. And I think that they don't always hit the mark. Like, they want to do it in a way that is their own brand of thing. Yeah. But they don't always hit the mark on that. But the fact of the matter is that they keep trying new things, and they don't fall back into these old ways that a lot of these other companies are going. And that actually, I admire that, because that is what's going to keep Nintendo alive. Yeah.
On the topic of that too, I believe this is where they start mentioning about the membership, the online stuff, because I know that's going into a paid tier this year.
Yes.
How do we feel?
We think so, yeah.
How do we feel about that as we're moving into the end of the year? Because I'm assuming we'll get more information about what that entails in E3 at some point.
It's $20 a year.
I mean, it's not expensive, and it's not expensive, and I think what we'll get out of it is more services. I think that's what we'll get out of it, is the thing. So, like, I don't see them just saying, like, oh, your current online service is going to be paid. I think it's going to be your current online service is going to be paid, and also here's a bunch of this other cool stuff.
So. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, they've already talked about, and they haven't really shared details, so who knows, but it sounds like they are trying to look into, like, sort of what Sony does and what Microsoft does with their Games with Gold and PS Plus offers, where you will get some freebies by being a paid member, but it does look like the online services, which I think a lot of people are starting to get used to a free online service, so we'll see how that pans out.
I think what I'm kind of hoping for, at least, is with a paid online service. I feel like they should do stuff like cloud saves and stuff like that too. Like, I think that's a no-brainer. You know,
I think cloud saves might be a little bit more difficult based on how they kind of dull user accounts out between systems, but I can definitely see it happening, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And I wonder if that's going to also influence how the new reward system for My Nintendo works, because now it's you buy a game, you get the digital, like, percentage of it that you can use towards something else? Question mark? I haven't really looked into it, but I know it's a thing.
They've started going back towards getting discounts on other digital titles.
Oh, that's already live in the eShop. You go in there, you buy a game, you get gold coins. You can you get gold coins for any game you purchase, and then you can use gold coins on any game you purchase. So basically, if you buy games with real money, you'll get like a bunch of coins, and then eventually you'll build up enough coins to buy a full game.
And
kind of
can't you
Right.
also get coins? You have to like do a weird register thing for physical copies, right? That's still a thing.
Yes.
It's not terribly hard, at least for the Switch.
I've done it
Put
like
in the copy
once.
and you click a button.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't have any physical copies of all my games are digital. On
Oh, I have
Interesting.
mostly physical copies.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm kind of the opposite. I mean, if perhaps the Switch was more of a, I mean, it is kind of like your choice whether or not to make it a console system or a handheld system or both. But
I just
I
like
think
the
if it was-
convenience of being able to turn on any game without having to fumble around with boxes or.
I mean, fair point.
You know what
I have felt that fatigue. Yeah.
I'm over it because I think about this every time I have to every time I pull out my PlayStation 3 or my Xbox 360 or something to play like an older game, I constantly have to figure out which case the game is in. Like, is it out in the living room with all the other games, or is it in this case that I have here by my desk, or and I find it tedious.
That
It's a
seems to be
process
a you
every
problem.
time. So I'm
It does
over
make it. I'll say it's definitely tedious. Especially for handheld games where you're just kind of like, oh, I want to play this game now. I don't feel like getting up.
Right, or or for example,
I guess I'll just turn it off.
oh, I went on this big trip. Get on the plane, pull out your Switch. Oh, I forgot Mario Kart. Whoops.
Yeah, Mario
Yeah,
Kart
that's
I did
understandable.
digitally.
like you need stuff like that, especially the multiplayer games. It's like, oh no, you get into a group of people like, oh man, let's play Mario Kart. I forgot mine
Yeah.
at home.
I totally
Whoops.
get that.
Wop.
Whoopsie doodles.
But now I have all mine, everything but Zelda. I got Zelda.
Gotta get
Physical.
that
I
special
have
one, man.
physical of everything
one
except Mario Kart, I think. Because also I haven't
Can I-
switched my SD card yet.
Can I just say one thing? We have gone this entire time without answering any single question that I actually had about Splatoon 2.
Oh,
Okay, what was your initial question about Splatoon 2?
anyway, let's go back
No,
to the questions.
We derailed so hard.
That's great. This is
so,
fine.
Literally, I think we can kind of sum it up as, I almost said sum it down. I think I've had
Sum it down.
Sum it
sum it
down.
Sum it down now.
Sounds like a
Do
lonely
you
island.
think that at $20 that the Octoling expansion DLC is worth it? Now, keep in mind, this is 80 single-player levels from what I've been told. 80? That's a lot. That's a high number.
That's pretty good.
To unlock an Octoling in multiplayer and or other aspects of your Splatoon life.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm fine with it.
All right, let's move on.
I mean, it was $20 for same DLC. I'm in. That's fine. Hey, it's more content.
I mean, so the one thing I will say is that for $20, like the Zelda DLC, I think the Zelda season pass was 40, right?
No, it was
Am I
20.
wrong? It was 20.
Yep.
People pay more
For both?
People pay more to go see a freaking movie, you know? Sometimes.
Yeah, I paid about $20 to see Black Panther, so you know.
Yeah, I paid. We went and saw it in IMAX. It was
Same.
$40.
Same.
Gotta get
it
those
was like
recliner seats. Gotta get those recliner seats.
Oh, I
It
love
was
them
a good
seats.
experience. It was a good experience, and it was what 2.5 hours. You
Yeah.
know, it's like.
And the whole time I was thinking I could have been playing Trial of the Sword.
and like,
Nope. Absolutely not. No point.
The thing is that people need to equate these different forms of entertainment, and I feel like $20 is more than worth it for a proper, an extra single player experience for a game that you're gonna play for
Yeah.
hours.
Yeah, this seems fairly lengthy, so I think it's definitely worth that price.
Yeah, and it does seem like a good couple of hours, like at least an hour, maybe two.
Yep.
And for $20, I mean, you get just that, and everything else for Splatoon 2 has been free. So it seems like you're getting a gigantic season pass for $20 if you choose to.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, and all the other multiplayer content is, like you said, free. It's free. All the other multiplayer maps, all of the new equipment and stuff like that. That's just a free update.
Yep.
Yep.
Like, you have nothing to complain. Nobody has anything to complain about.
Stop whining.
Go, be happy with what you got. Play your goddamn games. Jesus.
I think the biggest announcement, of course, even though it was only about a minute and a half long, was Super Smash Brothers.
Let's be honest, we all knew this was happening. We knew this was coming.
Look, one way or another,
it was only a matter of time.
Anybody?
How are we feeling about this?
I feel like it's soon. I feel like it's happening soon because if you look at the past with Smash Brothers, between Melee and Smash Bros. Brawl was like 5 years. Between Brawl and Smash 5 was another 5 years or something, or Smash 4 rather was another 5 years.
And we're already 4 years
6
in.
Years.
Oh shit!
It's 4 years in. It's 4 years in. It's getting to be that time, but I feel like they said it's coming out this year, right? I doubt that's gonna happen. I feel like it's gonna get delayed.
They've been pretty good. I mean, Xenoblade 2 came out when they said it was, and even I was just like, all right. Says you. And then it happened.
Says you.
I mean, again, if the same engine is being used for the exact same way, it probably wouldn't be that big of a jump. But my big thing is, like, you know, it makes sense because they are consistently putting out more Amiibo. They were still putting out Smash Amiibo late into July last year. Like, hell, that was when my freaking that's when Cloud came out for Smash.
All right, but at least, like, well, I don't know if it's really in their defense. They had promised that, like, 2 years before they came out.
True.
If we can remember that.
True,
like,
but even
those
then,
took forever.
Right, but even then,
like,
they still happened.
They still happened. And I guess that's another question, but in a second. I'm pretty sure, do we think this is a new game? This looks like a brand new title. This does not look like a port of 4.
Anybody who thinks it's a port of 4 is stupid.
Damn.
Wow.
Jesus Christ.
Just going right there. Ba-dow.
It literally says on Nintendo's website, Super Smash Bros. Working title. Like, it's like, come on. It's
just a reminder.
It's a new Smash Bros. Game.
But here's
this is JoshJepson's character. He thinks you're stupid, and he loves Gex.
You know what?
We just
gotta keep going into this rabbit hole, you guys. No, I mean,
Gex for Smash 5.
How
about it?
Seriously, where's the love?
How about Bubsy, guys? How about
no,
bad idea. Actually.
Gex is just a more tame Bubsy.
Wait, how about Tommy Wiseau? How about that? Let's get a real guy in there, real good American guy.
That's
no?
A good old American guy.
Hey, it's a running joke of him. Okay, I was trying to make fun joke and didn't work.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
Welcome to my life.
Future me, put in an applause.
No, I don't. I don't need your pity, especially for a bad joke like that. Come on. No, like honestly, I watched the whole trailer and was like, all right, cool, it exists. But it gave us, like, honestly, nothing. I'm not going to believe anything until I see some more information, because right now, we got, okay, Mario's in it. We got Breath of the Wild Link in it. We got the Inklings in it.
Yeah.
Great.
I mean, that's something.
That's something.
Yeah.
Cool. But
look at all those characters.
So many characters. We got that one. We got this one. We got the dude with the pointy ears.
I'm on the wrong show for this, but I hate speculating because I don't want to get my hopes up for things that probably won't end up happening.
No, yeah.
I would rather keep my expectations low and then have them announce a thing and be excited about that thing instead of getting my hopes up, having them announce a thing and being like, "Oh, really? That's all? That's it?"
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel about Smash.
Like I told you before we recorded all of this, we are a poor man's Game Explained, in which I try not to do a lot of that. I don't want to really try to do a lot of speculation and predictions. I kind of want to do. I do want to get maybe your guys' opinions of.
I'm excited for Smash.
I'm into it. I just want to see more about it because right now I'm just like, okay, it exists.
Well, you'll see it at E3.
You'll see it at E3.
Yep, yeah, probably.
All this, pretty much anything that like wasn't in this direct that people were like, oh, this should have been in this direct. You'll see it at E3.
More than likely.
But I do have 2 questions.
Yes.
Yep.
What character do you guys maybe want to see the most? Even if it's like a completely Banjo?
If Rare would let that character happen.
It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. I mean, they
Well,
could do
never
it.
say
They could
never.
license.
But that's what you want.
They could if Cloud was in there, and if frickin' Snake was in, and if like
Yeah,
who
Cloud
else?
came out of
Sonic.
left field.
Listen, all of these characters, if those characters can be in, Banjo-Kazooie can be in. Just they could pay for the licensing for Banjo-Kazooie and put it in there. It's a classic. It's on Nintendo consoles. Classic Nintendo consoles. It is a classic character duo. It should be there, I think.
Yeah.
But that's just my opinion.
Alex, what about you?
You know, Amaterasu wasn't in Marvel vs. Capcom. Home Wolf needs some better game that's fighting. Let's put Amaterasu in Smash. Why not? That'd be fun.
I'd like that.
I mean, the mechanics
Yeah.
are already there. You can use a final smash of like the Celestial Gods. You can utilize the touch control for a little bit of that too if you're doing it in handheld mode. Like that could be kind of cool, I guess.
Rayman.
Rayman would be good.
Yeah.
Rayman
And
would
I
be
think
good.
that was definitely a predicted character in the last game.
Yep. Shovel Knight would be good.
Shovel Knight would be
Shovel
very
Knight.
good. Everyone wants Goku. Not happening.
Goku in Smash. What if Goku was in Smash one day? What if
Yeah,
that happened?
would you
The
not buy the
internet
game anymore,
would.
Alex?
The internet would implode. Do you remember how fervent the entire community was about that? Like,
What,
if it
Goku?
happened, just oh my god.
How about
I mean, you got Ryu. It's close enough.
Metal Mario in Smash and Golden Metal Mario?
Were they
Oh,
not
yeah.
already?
Can we get Rose Gold Peach,
Pink
please?
Gold Peach, please.
Yeah, can we do
Yes.
that?
What about Metallic
Why hasn't that
Waluigi?
happened?
Where's that?
Okay, but what about the Bee Queen from Super Mario Galaxy?
Oh my.
What about PD Piranha? Why isn't he in Smash?
What about Hammer Bro #1?
What about Hammer Bro #2?
There's so
Come
many
on, man.
stories.
Don't make me choose between the two Hammer Bros.
How about Hank? Hank the Hammer Bro. Screw 1 and 2. Just go with Hank.
Hank.
Thanks, Hank.
Well, he
They're
has
both
a
named
name,
Hank.
so
Oh no.
yeah. It's right there on my name tag. Right there, Hank.
It gets very confusing.
Yep.
Yeah. No. My name is number 1. As for me,
Yeah. Who would you choose, Andrew?
like, fuck if I know. Just no sword characters, please. I'm kind of done with that.
Yeah, can we not get like 4 Fire Emblem characters that are the exact fucking same? Like, how many Fire Emblem
Dude.
characters were in this last game? Like 8?
Oh my god, there were so many.
Like,
Too many.
Like, I get it. Fire Emblem's a thing, but guys, at some point you have to show somewhat of a restraint.
Like, here's a game that was gonna die like 3 or 4 years ago, and there's like 70,000 of them in Smash Brothers.
Yeah, now it's everywhere, and it was nowhere about 7 years ago. Why don't we have any more like stuff from Earthbound? Even like, do an Earthbound team.
Earthbound would be great.
Like,
No, because that gives people too much hope.
what from other
Honestly,
3?
I'm surprised. I really am surprised at the lack of capitalizing on Earthbound stuff. I think there really should be more Earthbound stuff.
I
in
wonder if it's
Smash.
because it's so
Well,
oddly niche.
Well, no, it
guess.
really depends on whether or not Itoi really wants to kind of deal with it anymore.
I guess.
I think.
Is Itoi not super into
So.
it as he used to be?
I think he told his story, and I think that's all he wanted to do.
Well, I mean, hey, fair enough. Whatever. Stick to your guns.
Yeah,
Yeah.
art. So
I
Art.
mean, shoot, I literally put myself on the spot. I could have said
You did.
nothing and got away with
You
it.
could have said nothing and got away with it, Andrew.
it's okay.
I would like to maybe. So if we are seeing a lot of these different
JoshJepson
like
in
third
Smash.
party, yeah, fine, all right,
Me in the trash because that's how I am in Smash.
yeah. Like I just want one gigantic trash can with the character name of waifu, or like your
Oh.
waifu.
Oh god.
If we are seeing some more third-party support on the Switch, I guess I would like to see some of that kind of meld into the new Smash Brothers game. I mean, literally the only characters, there are only maybe 12-ish characters, and that's just a number off the top of my head that are currently on the roster. So the possibilities are kind of endless. I would like to see where they want to go with it from there. Maybe seeing like Crash Bandicoot would be really cool.
Crash would
yeah.
be kind of neat.
Yeah, so
Crash would make more sense.
I'm definitely looking into some of the more classic third-party characters that I would like to see. Josh, I know you're all over Gex. I know you tried to hide it with the past, but like it's fine.
Gex and Smash.
Gex and Smash. Hashtag Gex and Smash.
Get that trending, people. I also want to point out,
and then they're like, who?
who is she?
Yes, Jackson Smash.
Jex.
Who's Jex?
Jex is his stage name. Excuse me.
Yeah. Oh, you mean the Geico lizard?
Oh my god. Oh my god, he's my favorite
I mean, you
character.
can say 15%.
On the smash ball to your face. Boom.
Anyway, well, here's my thing. Are we gonna see about 50 more amiibo?
Oh, are you kidding? Absolutely.
Yeah, totally.
All right, next topic. Because that makes me mad and I don't want to talk about it. So,
Hey, do you want me to count how many amiibo I am staring at on my shelf right now? Because I have at least 50.
I have
I
all the
have a
Smash
lot.
ones. I bought it, but I don't know if I'm ready to go back into that.
Oh, I'm
It's
not
too
either. Like, I only bought the ones from
That's a
Zelda.
huge commitment.
I think at this point I'm
very
only
large
buying the
commitment.
stuff that I actually want.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
helping. As
Dark
the guy who has
Souls.
2 more amiibo in
So
box.
let's talk about. So here's the thing. Good direct, bad direct. What do you guys think?
I think it's a good direct. I think there was a lot of stuff on there that, while some of it was super huge, some of it's just like, okay, cool, yay, we're getting more support on Switch. We're getting some real good stuff that like shows that it can work as a all-around general console. Like, you know, South Park on Switch, great.
I think that getting these ports from these companies is showing their interest in doing more with Nintendo.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that makes me happy.
And they clearly see that the Switch is thriving. They clearly see that it's selling, and that's great because it's the exact opposite of the Wii U. So
Yep.
And it's going to be a lot. There's going to be a lot more opportunity for these other companies to do more on the Switch, because they previously Nintendo's had a bad relationship with third-party developers, and so I think that they can fix that. I think that it's not too late for them.
Yeah, and I think this is really showing them, like, when Doom was announced, when L.A. Noire was announced, when Dark Souls was announced, like, games that are definitely not what you would scream Nintendo, like, aesthetic, and yet here they are, and I think that's great, and I think there's still even a lot of good stuff on 3DS, too. Like, we didn't talk about Detective Pikachu. Like, even that kind of game is
Detective
still
Pikachu.
a thing. Still wish it was
that's
Danny
true.
DeVito, but, you know, I'll take it.
suicide is mayonnaise.
A derivative.
So what did you want to see from that direct, and did you get that?
I didn't really have any expectations, to be perfectly honest.
Yep.
Like I said earlier, I kind of keep my expectations low for most things, and then I'm usually the only one coming out of the other side enjoying everything.
No, I'm pretty much the same way.
Hey, Smash Brothers.
Just because I'm like, at this point, the only reason why I knew about Smash before watching it was because I was at work and I looked at my watch and I just saw the Smash logo and I'm like, oh, well, that's happening, I guess. And then knew nothing else until I actually got home and watched it, and I actually enjoyed it. But like again, I'd much rather hear everything from them themselves, not know what, like, give them the benefit of the doubt, and then go from there, because I think it just makes things easier, and there's no, like, toxicity? I don't think I said that right, but it's okay.
You were close enough.
Hey, that's 6 out of 10.
I mean, personally, I really didn't have anything going into this. I think the one thing I would have wanted to see is, like, you know, we got more information about Kirby Star Allies. I didn't mention it because the game will be out before this episode comes out, most likely.
Yeah, it launches next week.
It launches this week.
It launches in 3 days.
It launches
this Friday.
It launches right now.
Yeah.
It launched yesterday.
Surprise! Yeah.
Depending on when you watch this, it's already here.
DialogBOX exclusive. So yeah,
Bow.
Depending on when you watch this, it came out 4 years ago.
Or a million
Yeah,
years ago. We're all dead.
yeah. How was the apocalypse, guys? Was it good?
Well,
Did you like it?
we dabbed all into the fire. It's great.
Yeah, too many fidget spinners.
And Logan Paul.
So like, I don't don't know what I expected, honestly. I would have liked to have seen some more information about like this new Yoshi game that they had talked about, and then suddenly they were silent on. I would have liked to have seen some more information about what the Switch Pokemon game might entail. But I guess we are going to kind of leave that to E3, which does flow very nicely like a river into my next question.
Oh, look at you with your nice wordplay.
Every now and then. So, what do you guys think will be the driving force behind E3? Because remember, like, Nintendo the last 2 years has been focusing on one specific game during their E3s. So it's Smash Brothers?
Smash. It's Smash. Metroid will be there, but Smash will be the focus.
Probably.
Yeah.
Or Pokemon.
Yeah, no doubt.
Mostly, but probably Smash.
mean, probably Smash.
I'm hoping that at least the 4 games that I just discussed, like Yoshi's, Fire Emblem, obviously Smash Bros. Prime 4.
Actually, wait, doesn't Pokemon normally have their own Direct?
Pokemon kind of doesn't usually participate in the E3 stuff as much.
They do something separate, right?
I mean, literally the last in the last
maybe we'll
E3,
get something later.
It was. I mean, they talked about Ultra Sun and Moon last E3, and then for about 2 seconds they were like, "We're working on Switch, all right, whatever."
Shut up about it. We know. We heard you. God damn.
So to get a little bit more information on those games that were announced last year would be nice.
I think you will. I can't see them just focusing entirely on one game because they haven't really done that at the booth at E3. Like on the show floor, they put heavy focus on one particular game the last couple of years. But
2016 was mostly about Breath of the Wild and very little else, right?
2016 was pretty much entirely Breath of the Wild. Yeah.
And then 2017 was Mario Odyssey.
A lot of Mario Odyssey, but there was a bunch of other stuff too.
Yeah.
I don't know. I wasn't there.
You know, it's possible. And I think that this year it will be Smash, and then they'll have like a bunch of other stuff.
Probably.
But it'll be Smash themed. Like, there's no way that it won't be. Like, their booth and everything.
If they've already said it's launching this year, then it has to be.
Yeah. Yeah, no doubt.
All right. Stay tuned for our coverage of all Yoshi all the time E3 2018.
Yep. Where we answer the circular question, why can't Metroid Yoshi crawl?
Yeah. So thank you guys for this is pretty much the end of all the questions that I had for this edition. Thank you guys for joining me tonight.
Yeah, man.
No problem.
If you are somehow watching this before April 6th at 7
April 5th.
or 6:30. April 5th?
Yeah, it's a Thursday.
God.
We're going to PAX East,
that's right.
all 3 of us.
Yes, if you're watching this before April 5th at, I believe, 7 p.m.
6.
Probably. So, whatever, okay. If you're watching this before that time that we have suddenly decided on, that was decided for us.
Yep.
We will be at PAX East, all 3 of us doing this panel right now. We will be talking about the 30, well, not 30 years of Zelda.
That was last year.
You know what? I'm gonna just start
Here,
over.
do you want me to take
if
this?
you are watching this, no,
Okay.
I haven't. Leave me alone.
Okay.
If you are watching this before April 5th at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time,
Yes.
we will be at PAX East doing the Breath of the Wild in the Future of the Zelda series panel. See, I got it right this
Yay.
time.
We'll put the claps there for you.
Yes.
See, I can take that joke.
With a little help from my friends. But yeah, we will all be there, and we hope to see you guys there. Unfortunately, will not be streamed, so you will just have to be at PAX East and come see us.
We're trying to get it filmed, and as of this recording, which is March 13th, Thursday tickets are still available.
Thank you.
So you can still come and see it.
Yep. If you only want to be here on Thursday and then just leave, be sure to come see us that night.
Yeah.
We would love to see you guys there. But
no, I'd hate to see you there, actually.
All right, Gex lover.